Welcome to Lesson 8. Virtual machines and the cloud are everywhere on a modern helpdesk, and you'll be expected to understand both. In this lesson, we'll cover what a hypervisor and a virtual machine are, how to run one with Hyper-V, and the core cloud models, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. By the end, you'll be able to spin up a test VM and classify cloud services with confidence. Virtualization lets one physical computer pretend to be many. A virtual machine is a complete computer, with its own operating system, disk, and network, running as software inside another machine. The thing that makes it possible is the hypervisor, the software layer that shares the real hardware among several VMs and keeps them isolated. For us, that means a throwaway machine to test a risky fix safely. There are two kinds of hypervisor. A Type 1, or bare metal, hypervisor runs directly on the hardware with no host operating system underneath, think Hyper-V on a server or VMware ESXi. A Type 2, or hosted, hypervisor runs as an application on top of your existing operating system, think VirtualBox or VMware Workstation on your laptop. Type 1 is for servers and performance, Type 2 for desktop convenience. Windows includes Hyper-V, a Type 1 hypervisor, on the Pro and Enterprise editions. You manage it from PowerShell. Get-VM shows what virtual machines exist and their state. New-VM creates one, here we give it a name, 4 GB of RAM, and a new virtual disk of 60 GB. Then Start-VM powers it on. From there it boots like any other computer. Now the cloud. In one line, it's computing you rent over the internet instead of owning. You don't buy the hardware, you pay for what you use and scale up or down on demand. The key idea to learn is the service models, which simply describe how much the provider manages for you versus how much you manage yourself. There are 3 you must know. 3 service models. Infrastructure as a service, IaaS, rents you raw virtual machines, storage, and networking, and you manage the operating system and apps. Platform as a service, PaaS, gives you a managed platform to run your code without touching servers. Software as a service, SaaS, is a finished app in the browser, like Microsoft 365. The more the provider manages, the less control but the more convenience you get. You can create cloud infrastructure from the command line. With the Azure CLI, you run AZ login to authenticate, AZ group create to make a resource group that holds your resources, and AZ VM create to spin up a virtual machine, choosing an image and a size. The AWS command line tool works the same way with different command names. This is IaaS in action. Where the cloud lives matters too. Public cloud is shared infrastructure run by a provider like Azure or AWS. Private cloud is dedicated infrastructure for a single organization. Hybrid cloud mixes both, keeping sensitive or regulated data on private infrastructure while using public cloud for scale. Regulated industries, like banking and healthcare, often choose hybrid for exactly that reason. Why does this matter day to day? You'll reproduce user problems on a throwaway VM without risking production. Many of the apps users think they installed are really software as a service, so the fix lives in a browser or a provider's dashboard. Cloud logins and outages turn into support calls. Knowing which model you're dealing with tells you where the problem and the fix actually live. Let's recap. A hypervisor runs and isolates virtual machines. Type 1 is bare metal, Type 2 is hosted. The cloud service models, IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, describe who manages what. The deployment models, public, private, and hybrid, describe where it lives. Your task: enable Hyper-V and use Get-VM and New-VM to create a test machine, or use VirtualBox if Hyper-V isn't available. Then classify 3 real services you use into IaaS, PaaS, or SaaS, and explain why. See you in Lesson 9.